Hey this is Dave Desai, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to get into Jason Derulo and the whole thing with BTS, specifically Jungkook. There's a lot that went down with them, and we obviously know a lot about this already, but there were some comments that I just have some new thoughts on. I also want to get into Blackpink Jennie apparently getting attacked on the street and not having security with her. It's weird. So grab your dumpling tea spilling mug merch and let's get into the tea. If you're new here and you're interested in this type of stuff, please make sure to hit the subscribe button and that notification bell to be notified anytime a new video drops. Any of you who's a hater, like to be first to leave your hate comment, please make sure to hit the subscribe button and that notification bell also so you can be first to do so. Now let's jump into it. The first thing I want to get into was Jungkook and Jason Derulo. If you don't know the backstory behind these two, let's get into that a little bit. Jason first met BTS a while back and it was at an award show. This was actually leaked by him during an interview with Ellen, I believe. Jason talked about how BTS knew who Jason was, but Jason had no idea who BTS was when BTS came up to Jason backstage. They complimented him and Jason just kept it friendly. Later that day at the award show, I believe BTS won Social Artist or something, and Jason said that he respected them for having such a strong fan base, and then acknowledged them after that. I feel like that type of mentality is kind of what's wrong with the industry. I don't blame Jason for this at all, because everyone in the entertainment industry is conditioned to think about how they can advance in their career, and they tend to look to numbers as a sign of success rather than being friendly with people for the sake of being friends. If someone came up to me and told me how much they loved my work, I would want to be their friend, not be like, oh, they have a strong following, okay, let's be friends now. BTS is still human, whether they have a following or not, and should be respected for being good people. They're great people. Now, Jason said this during the midst of the Savage Love remix. I don't know what the official rules were, but it definitely was disappointing that Jason couldn't have BTS in an official song, but it was a remix of basically a remix, because the original Savage Love song was just the beat by Josh, and then Jason took the beat and then made it a song. Then it took BTS to get it to #1. The song wasn't going to ever hit #1 without BTS. It had been out for weeks already and was starting to decline in the charts already, I believe. And it was BTS's remix that got to #1. So in my mind, BTS did a favor. It might not have been charity work because I'm sure BTS got something out of it, but I think above all else, BTS was hoping to get more connections in the US market and have more American friends or non-Asian friends. It's so funny because they don't speak English. I guess these American or non-Asian celebrities don't relate to BTS at all. So they tend to almost distance themselves away from the group unconsciously. A lot of these behaviors don't make any sense. If you know the power of the fandom that BTS holds, why would you not be friends with BTS or try to get on their good side? The only reason I can think of is that people don't like Asian men. Now, this isn't referring to Jason specifically, but just in general in my theory. Asian men in school are seen as the ones you can copy your homework from. They're seen as awkward and weird and don't know how to have fun. They're seen as party poopers. No one wants to be around those people. So people hate Asian men so much that they would rather lose the possibility of acquiring a strong fan base than to get close to Asian men. Give me an alternate reason, because this is the only one. Every time I bring up Asian men's racism, I get comments either on the Tweetster or whatever of people saying, that happens? I love Asian men. I'm happy you do, I really am. But that is also part of the problem. If no one acknowledges this happens, then it won't ever get fixed, and BTS will still have to constantly fight an uphill battle. Jungkook even honored Jason in a way where he did the cover himself and sang it in his bedroom. This no doubt helped push the song even more, and BTS really did their part to push the song to #1. I don't know any other artist that does things like this and then doesn't get the full recognition of their work. People will still say that Jason's song got #1, when in fact it took 3 artists to get this song to #1, Jason, Josh, and BTS. Now, Jason did a video on TikTok and Instagram where it showed them celebrating the #1 song. There were a bunch of TikTokers that were there, and Jason tagged all of them in the caption of the video on TikTok and Instagram. Immediately, he was faced with backlash because it wasn't even his original song that got to #1, it was BTS, and BTS is nowhere to be found in the caption of either videos. Jason changed the Instagram caption to add BTS and Josh, then added a TikTok comment to put BTS and Josh in there as well, because you can't edit a TikTok caption if you didn't know. People were theorizing maybe Jason just put the people that were there at the party and tagged them, which is why BTS and Josh were not tagged. But I find it hard to believe that BTS and Josh were invited and they said no. BTS might have said no, I do believe that. Since they were probably recording their album and doing stuff like that, maybe they didn't want to be at a party with all those people. But Josh and Jason have met up before to record the song, I believe. I don't think Josh would have said no to the party, but he wasn't tagged either or even there at the party. People definitely felt that Jungkook wasn't happy about this, and when it came time to clean up their social media account and clean up their following list, they unfollowed Jason. I don't know if this was the case or if they tend to unfollow people who are controversial. BTS even unfollowed Lindsay Lohan, and she is definitely at least a former controversial person. I think she is doing great now. But BTS likes to keep their following list skinny, and the people they tend to keep seem to be people who also support them back and show endless love to BTS back, such as Halsey. Congrats on the baby. I'm so happy for her, and obviously BTS seems to be so happy for her as well. By the way, this tweet that has gone viral is not Jason tweeting this. It's a joke from a fan account, I guess. I don't think Jason would tweet this, but I do think it's funny that it was spreading and people thought it was real. I love that we as a fandom try to protect our boys. We very much care if our boys are being represented and being treated fairly. Let's have the same energy with all Asian men as well, and have the same energy with the Asian boys you see in your classroom as well. I was bullied for being Asian, and I definitely want to see a change in that. K-pop idols get protected from any attacks, especially in public, so we don't have to worry too much about them. Recently, Jennie was actually spotted coming out of the airport, which actually was a concern. There were some moments recently where we saw Rosé kind of by herself, and people were wondering where Jennie was. Rosé had just flown back to Korea, and it looked like she did it by herself. Perhaps Jennie had some formal things she needed to do and wanted to stay and visit a friend. We obviously don't know, but when she came back to Korea, she was bombarded with fans at the airport. I think it's okay to go meet an idol at an airport. They usually make it somewhat public when they're flying, and it's not hard to figure out without being a creepy stalker because they post their schedules publicly. So it's totally okay to wait at the airport, in my opinion, but definitely not okay to possibly hurt and touch the idol. I'm sure no matter how famous you are, it never gets less scary seeing a crowd of people wait for you and then being scared if any of them are crazy and are going to attack you. What was even worse in this situation is that Jennie didn't look like she had any bodyguards with her. This made me think maybe this wasn't a planned trip, because I think if YG knew, they definitely would get someone for her, but they didn't, or at least it appeared to not be anyone with her. But they didn't, or at least it appeared to not be anyone with her. She did have a car service with someone waiting to take her, so for sure her team knew where she was. But it was interesting because people were angry that it appeared that the fans that were waiting outside the airport and in front of her car at one point even pushed her. Maybe by accident, but again, it's okay to wait at the airport, but keep your distance, especially during a pandemic. Stay away, and if you're there to see her, then just look at her and go. There's no reason to be that close, and she's probably scared as you can imagine. It's terrifying. That situation looks terrifying. Jennie was so kind, and she ended up bowing to all the fans there, and that's really the best she can do. Once she saw or noticed how crazy the crowd was, she decided to go into the car and head off. And honestly, it's best to take off when it starts to get crazy, because then it's the idol's fault for not leaving and causing a hazard. They don't blame the people pushing and shoving, but they blame the idols. I think there should have been a larger team with her. At the very least, there should be someone drawing the line for the crowd, someone to stand there in the front and tell people they can't go further and be right up on Jennie's personal space. With something like this, it's a better experience for both the idol and the crowd too, because if Jennie felt safe, she might have stayed an extra second, maybe even take pictures with people and just have a moment with everyone. She maybe felt like all she could do was bow. Let me know what you think. Let me know what your thoughts are. Leave it in the comment section down below. Give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'm featuring this comment right here. Thank you so much for leaving comments. And as always, I do have a Patreon if you want to go over there and check that out. I have a lot of videos over there that I can't really post on here. This is due to copyright or getting taken down, so I do keep it over there on my Patreon. You can get videos over there like music video reactions, performance reactions, ship reactions. We also have a great time interacting with each other over there as well. I post a lot of requests over there too, so you can request things that you want to see, such as fan cafes, BTS TV shows, and all of that. I do also send out postcards and photo cards every month, so if you're interested in any of that, link is in the top description down below. There's also a video over there that kind of goes over how you can support this channel even more if you would like to do that. That video is on the front page and it's free to watch. With that said, there's two videos that will appear up on screen at the end of this video, so click on one of those and I'll see you over there. Bye.